putting before you the anger among hundreds of students who are stranded at the Indira Gandhi International T3 Airport in Delhi after the Lufthansa Airlines cancelled 800 of its flights today. We are taking a look at what has happened after the cancellation of those 800 aircrafts. Although there was a press release that had been put out, however, inconveniencing of passengers is something that is happening on ground. And here we are talking about hundreds of students who are currently stranded at the Indira Gandhi International Airport in the national capital. We'll try and get you visuals and also some reactions from those very students who are stranded there at the IGI T3 Terminal 3 Airport in Delhi. This has happened after the Lufthansa aircraft, the airlines, have cancelled 800 of its flights today, and this because of a strike that's been called in by the people associated by Lufthansa. We'll try and bring in a word there also what is happening at the IGI airport, the T3 airport, because here the people from the other passengers who've been inconvenienced, they also include a lot of students who are really angry because they are currently stranded at the airport. My colleague Ridhima now joins me on the broadcast. Ridhima, just take us through what is really happening over there. Lufthansa cancelling its flights, operations, 800 flights have been impacted, and because of which there will be so many passengers that are going to be inconvenienced.
So, Griya, let me just first explain what really is happening. As you rightly pointed out, Lufthansa has cancelled as many as 800 flights, which means the estimate that the airline is working with is currently that 130,000 passengers could be impacted. There was chaos, as you rightly pointed out, at T3 at the Indira Gandhi International Airport. Now, the reason why we've seen this last-minute cancellation is because of a one-day strike that has been called by the pilot union. This is an ongoing issue that they've been raising for the last couple of months because they've been wanting a hike in salaries. Let me first tell you the statement that we've got from Lufthansa, where they've gone on to say that the airline is working with joint forces to return its flight operations to a normal status as quickly as possible. Nevertheless, the effects of the strike may lead to individual flight cancellations or delays this Saturday and Sunday. As far as the Delhi situation is concerned, most of the people who were stranded at midnight were students, most of them who were heading to North America because Lufthansa had cancelled all its flights at its two major hubs, which is Frankfurt as well as Munich. As far as the operability is concerned, we have two flights that move from Delhi on Fridays by Lufthansa. One is to Munich and one is to Frankfurt. Both of them were cancelled. On one flight, there were about 400 passengers. On the other flight, there were upwards of 300 passengers. So all of them at last minute were left in a lurch. Because most of them had already reached the airport when they finally got the message from Lufthansa, it led to absolute chaos. Now, most of them have put out a lot of very angry messages on social media. They're complaining against the airline, and they also want the civil aviation minister or the ministry to intervene. Their complaints are that, one, they got no heads up as far as this cancellation is concerned. Most of them had to miss out on their connecting flights. They had no accommodation, they had no food, so they were left stranded. What this eventually led to is a lot of security situation at the airport as well, because other passengers got delayed as well. Some of the videos that we're putting out, in fact, on our screens are of these students who continue to still protest somewhere outside the IGI airport and at the gates as well. Most of their families and relatives have joined them as well.
Ridhima, this is going to massively inconvenience a lot of people. That's but of course, because one day of this Bandh call, this strike that's been called by the Pilots Association has led to 800 of the flights being cancelled. We can only imagine what is the situation there at the Indira Gandhi International Airport at the moment. We leave it at that. Moving on to